Dear friends, we are going to study about op-amp parameters. Here basically we are going to study about 4 different parameters. One of the parameter is input offset voltage. Second one is input bias current. Third one is CMRR, which is called common mode rejection ratio. And fourth one is the slew rate. So the first of this one, we are going to study about this op-amp. Op-amp, here we are going to utilize the 741 op-amp is going to be utilized. IC 741 which contains 2 input and 1 output. The inputs are pin number 2 is an inverting inputs, pin number 3 is a non-inverting input, and this op-amp utilizes the split power supply. That is minus 12 at pin number 4 and plus 12 at pin number 7. These two are going to be utilized. Pin number 2, we are connecting 100 ohms and that is going to be grounded. And from the inverting points, we are utilizing the feedback resistance of 100K. That is RF amplifier we are going to utilize. So the gain of this amplifier, because we are utilizing inverting terminals, the gain of the amplifier is minus RF upon R1. The RF is going to be 100K we are going to utilize and R1 is going to be 100 ohms. So the gain of this amplifier is going to be 1000. Input offset voltage. Input offset voltage is nothing but the gain of the amplifier is equal to V0 upon Vi. And this VIOS, we can make the subject of the formula, that means V0 upon gain. Gain was 1000, so we divide output voltage by the 1000 and we'll get the input offset voltage. Now you see the circuitry here. This is the op-amp. Here there is a plus minus 12 volt power supply is going to be utilized. Plus 12 volt is connected on the board. Minus 12 volt is connected and ground, that is a reference voltage is connected. This is your op-amp. Here we have utilized this feedback resistance. You can see that through this wire we have connected and the resistance of 100K is utilized for feedback resistance. From here, pin number 2, we have connected to this one and here the 100 ohms resistance is grounded through this wire, red wire. You can say that it is grounded through the 100 ohms resistance. Another terminal, pin number 3, is grounded directly to the green line, that is called common terminal. And output is connected to the digital voltmeter. So this is a positive terminal of the voltmeter. This is a negative terminal. So pin number 6 is utilized for, we can say that, for the output of this op-amp. This way, we are going to study about the input offset voltage of this op-amp. Now, what is the input voltage we have given here? The input 1 at inverting terminal through the 100 ohms resistance, it is connected to the grounds. So the input voltage is 0. V1 is 0. Similarly, pin number 3 is also grounded and hence the V2 input is also 0. So difference of this input V1 minus V2 is going to be 0. And if the difference of the input is going to be 0, we are utilizing here in a differential mode. That means output voltage is nothing but the gain of the amplifier multiplied by the input voltage. But the difference of the input voltage is 0, so output voltage should be 0. But we can see that in this meter that output voltage is not going to be 0. The output voltage is approximately 1.2 volt is going to be there. Minus or plus, it's no matter because we are utilizing a inverting amplifier, so it is going to be inverted. So output voltage is going to be generated, instead of 0, it is generated 1.205 volt is going to be generated. This is because of the circuit imbalance, and we know that in a 741, there is a differential amplifier is utilized and there are two transistors will be there. And the HFE of these two transistors cannot be exactly equal. And hence they will generate some circuit imbalance at the input side, which is going to be generating the output this voltage. So this difference of this input voltage that we have to measure, which can be find out from the output voltage upon the gain of the amplifier. The output voltage is 1.2 volt that we have seen, 1.185 or 1.19 volt is there, divided by 1000. So 1.2 millivolt will be the offset, input offset voltage will be there, that we can write down. So here the input offset voltage you can see in the synopsis is equal to V0 upon 1000, because the 1000 was the gain and output voltage was 1.2 volt divided by 1000. That comes to the numerator, that will convert into the millivolt. So we can say that input offset voltage VIOS is equal to 1.2 millivolt will be there. So this is the first parameter we have find out. Now a very important another parameter is input bias current. What is the input bias current? The current going into the op-amp through the inverting terminal and non-inverting terminal. Inverting terminal is grounded through the resistance and non-inverting terminal is also grounded through the resistance. And how much current should go into the op-amp? Actually, we know that at the input side of the op-amp there is a differential amplifier is there, and input impedance of the differential amplifier ideally it should be infinite, so current going into the op-amp is supposed to be 0. So this input bias current should be 0. But we know that nothing is going to be ideal in the world. So there is a very high input impedance is going to be offered by the op-amp, and hence there is a slight current is going to be produced at the inverting terminal as well as non-inverting terminal. This current can be obtained through calculations because this current is going to be in the order of nanoamperes, which cannot be measured by the meter. So this current we are going to find out and we'll calculate, and then we'll find out the average input bias current IB1 plus IB2. You can see in the synopsis. IB1 is the current going into the inverting terminal and IB2 is the current going into the non-inverting terminal. Now, how to obtain this current practically? Practically, we know that this current cannot be measurable because it is in a nanoamperes. So what we are doing here? We are measuring the output voltage, and we know that output voltage is nothing but current multiplied by the feedback resistance. So feedback resistance we are taking here approximately 2 mega ohms or 2.2 mega ohms will be there. So whatever output voltage is there, that output voltage is nothing but IB1 into feedback resistance, and that way if we divide output voltage by the feedback resistance, we'll obtain IB1. Similarly, in a second circuit, we are connecting 2.2 mega ohms at the non-inverting terminal to the ground. Again, we are measuring the output voltage, and that output voltage divided by this 2.2 mega ohms will give you IB2, and we'll take the average value of this two. That is called IB is equal to IB1 upon IB2. Let us find out here right now. You can see that I have connected this feedback resistance to 2.2 mega ohms and pin number 3 is connected to the grounds directly. This power supply is required, plus 12, minus 12 and ground. Op-amp is always using this split power supply, plus 12, minus 12. So that has to be connected. Plus 12 is connected to the 7 number pin and minus 12 is connected to the 4 number pins. this feedback resistance of approximately, you can see that 2.2 mega ohms is connected here. Now, pin number 3 is connected to the grounds. You can see that this black wire is connected to the grounds directly. So this is the way pin number 3 is grounded, like this circuit. This circuit figure number 3 is here. And now we are measuring the output voltage. How much output voltage is there? 77 millivolt. You can see that the knob is in DC volt and range is in a millivolt. So the output voltage which is going to be generated here is 77 millivolt divided by, we can say that the resistance is approximately 2.2 mega ohms here. The feedback resistance which is connected 2.2 mega ohms. You can see the color codes also on the resistance, that is red into green, that is 10 raised to 5. So 22 into 10 raised to 5, that is approximately 2.2 mega ohms resistance, feedback resistance will be there. Now we can utilize this formula. IB1 is equal to V0, which is nothing but 77 millivolt divided by 2.2 mega ohms. Or if I take directly 2 mega ohms, that is divided by this, is nothing but approximately 35 nanoamperes or something. Because the output voltage is 77 into 10 raised to minus 3 divided by 2.2 into 10 raised to 6. 10 raised to 6 comes into the numerator, so it becomes 10 raised to minus 9. So 10 raised to minus 9 ampere is nothing but nanoamperes. So we can say that 77 divided by 2.2, whatever it comes, is nothing but IB1. Similar things we will find out for IB2. How it is supposed to be connected? The feedback of inverting terminal is directly connected to the output. And so I am connecting this feedback directly to the outputs now. And between the pin number 2 and pin number 3 is connected through 2.2 mega ohms resistors. So this pin number 3, that is non-inverting terminal, is connected to 2.2 mega ohms resistance, this resistance. Another end of this resistance I am connecting to the grounds. So non-inverting terminal is connected with this. You can see that this kind of circuit. Pin number 3 through 2.2 mega ohms is connected to the grounds. Inverting terminal is directly shorted to the outputs. Like this, I have shorted directly to the output pin number 2. Pin number 3 is connected to the grounds through 2.2 this resistance to the ground. And we are measuring again the output voltage in this meter. What will be the output voltage? You can see that. Output voltage which is going to be observed in a multimeter is 81.9 or 82 millivolt. This is in the range of millivolt, remember. So 80 millivolt is going to be the output. So that is our observations. How we calculate now IB2? IB2 is equal to V0 upon RF2. So V0 is equal to 82 millivolt divided by RF2, which is going to be 2.2 mega ohms. And hence it comes out to be whatever it is, 36 or 37 nanoamperes will be there. And we have to add this to IB1 plus IB2 and divide by 2. That way we'll get IB, which is called average value of this two input bias current. Now, we are interested in the third parameters, which is called CMRR. That is nothing but common mode rejection ratio. How this circuit is going to be connected? You see in this circuitry, inverting terminal and non-inverting terminals are connected with the 100 ohms. And they are connected with the plus 10 volt to the grounds. and non-inverting terminal is also connected with the resistance R3, which is supposed to be 100K, and it is a grounded. RF resistance is connected of 100K, and that is connected to the output, and we are measuring the output voltage. This is the way circuit has to be connected. આપણે મને પ્લસ માઇનસ 10 વોલ્ટનો એક સપ્લાય આપી દેજે, અહીં કનેક્ટ કરી દેજે મને જરા. Now, what is CMRR? You can see in a synopsis. CMRR is nothing but the ratio of differential mode gain upon common mode gain. That means AV differential upon AV common mode gain. AVD upon AVC. What is the differential mode gain? Differential mode gain is nothing but RF upon R1. That means RF in the circuit we are utilizing here is going to be 100K and R1 is going to be 100 ohms. So the ratio of this one 100K divided by 100 ohms, that is going to be 1K. And that 1K is nothing but, we can say that the differential gain. So 100K upon 100 ohms. So it is going to be 1000. And what is the common mode gain? Output voltage upon input voltage. V0 upon Vi. We are going to measure here the V0. And Vi is going to be 10 volt. We are going to give the DC voltage. According to this circuit, this is the 10 volt DC voltage we are going to apply between pin number 2 and pin number 3, common terminal of 100 ohms. So that is the input voltage. So that we are going to substitute and we will find out the CMRR. So substituting this one, we get this CMRR is equal to 1000, which is going to be the differential mode gain into Vi upon V0. So let us connect this circuit like this way. This pin number 2 is connected to 100K. Second resistance here in this one. That means pin number 2, which is this line, is connected to the 100K. So that is one thing is required. Second thing, both the input terminal has to be connected through 100 ohms. So here one of the terminal of this one is connected with the upper 4 resistance. Another terminal is connected to the one of the terminal of the lower 4 resistance. And from this one, I am going to select 100 ohms. That is the second resistance here. The first one is a capacitor. So second resistance is here. That is 100 ohms. That 100 ohms I am going to connect with the lower one 100 ohms. That means the first terminal here. So this way I have connected, you can see that circuit. Pin number 2 is connected through the 100 ohms, and here also pin number 3 is also connected to the 100 ohms, and that common terminal that I am going to connect with the 10 volt. So the positive terminal of this plus minus 5 volt, that positive terminal I am going to connect with the 200 ohms common terminal, and negative terminal I am going to connect, this is going to be the negative terminal, and that negative terminal I am going to connect with the common terminal here. So what happens? You can see that here I have utilized only 2 terminals, plus and minus. plus 5 volt. So with respect to this one, plus 5 volt up. With respect to this, plus 5 volt minus. So total voltage between these two terminal is going to be 10 volt. Positive terminal of this one is connected to the common terminal of the two resistance and negative terminal is connected to the ground or common terminal. આ ચાલુ છે ને? હે? ચાલુ છે ને? Okay. So this way it is connected. And other terminal from here it is connected to 100K. So 100K is also supposed to be grounded. 100K I have taken from here. This is the terminal, common terminal. This is going to be the 100K and that should be grounded. I have connected to the grounds. So my circuit is complete. Plus minus 12 volt is connected here. This is going to be plus minus 12 volt is connected. Plus 10 volt is connected as input to 200 ohms resistance. And 100K is connected to the grounds like this. Feedback resistance of 100K is connected. Now I'll measure what is the output voltage at pin number 6 where I have connected the speeder. So can you see this? What is the output voltage is there? 0.81 volt or 0.82 volt is approximately output voltage is going to be there. Can you see this one? 0.81 or 0.82. You can take any one. This is your output voltage. So now, or 1 volt is in, okay. Approximately it is going to be 1 volt is there. Let us consider 0.99 or 1 volt is there. આ 100% ચાલુ હશે ને? મને ખબર નથી. 1 મિનિટ અહીંયા મેપમાં 10 વોલ્ટ બતાવે, 11 વોલ્ટ કેમ બતાવે છે? ઓકે, અહીંયા 5 વોલ્ટ બતાવે જો તો. ઓકે, ચાલશે તો ચાલુ છે. So approximately it is 1 volt is there. So for the making the calculation easier, we are taking that output voltage is going to be 1 volt. So what is CMRR is going to be there? You can see in the synopsis. That is, input voltage is 10 volt. Output voltage is going to be 1 volt. So VI upon V0. So 10 volt upon 1 volt, that is going to be 10, which is going to be multiplied with the differential gain 1000. So it is approximately CMRR is going to be 10,000 will be there. And if you take the log of this 10,000, that is going to be 20 log CMRR. 20 of log of the CMRR of 10,000 will come nearly approximately around 60 dB or something, whatever it comes. You calculate that one. I'm not going to calculate. So you can find out this is the way the third parameter CMRR also can be measured. Now, the fourth important thing is the slew rate that we want to study. How to find out slew rate? For that, you have to connect the circuitry like this. Pin number 3 is connected to the grounds. Pin number 2 is an inverting amplifier we are utilizing here. The input resistance is going to be 1K, and through 1K we are going to connect here the square wave generator. Remember, we are giving the square wave. You can see the symbol. And the input voltage of 1 volt and 20 kilohertz, that is supposed to be the signal. That should be given the input. RF is supposed to be 10K. So gain of this amplifier at 10K upon 1K, that is going to be 10 we are utilizing here. And at the output we are going to connect a CRO, cathode ray oscilloscope. So CRO has to be connected at the output, and we have to visualize this waveforms. You can see that input you have given the square wave. Output is going to be delayed. That means you have studied in the digital electronics that if you are giving the input signal, which is going to be the exactly square wave, the transition time changing from low to high, that is TR, and TF, that is a transition time when output changes from high to low, that should be ideally 0. But it is not going to be 0. That is going to be delayed. You can see that input is changing from low to high, but it is not suddenly changing. It takes some time, and that means the output is slower, rising from low to high. That is the characteristic of this op-amp. And that slew rate, that means slope, we have to find out. The slope will be delta V upon delta T. That means to change the voltage from low to high, whatever that voltage is going to be changing from 0 to 1, and divide how much time it takes, that ratio is known as a slew rate. That we have to find out. So I am going to connect that circuitry now. See, at pin number 2, I have to connect the AFO. This is your AFO or function generator. You can see that signal generator. So, over a signal generator, right now it shows the 0 hertz. I am taking the output from the TTL. That means the signal which is coming out of this one will be of 5 volt signal. And this frequency I am going to adjust 20 kilohertz. This is in a kilohertz, you can see that. The middle one is a kilohertz. So by arranging this one, this knob, you can select which range of the frequency you want to adjust. This is in the kilohertz, 20 kilohertz. Now I am changing this major one and visualizing here, and we'll see that it will be approximately 20 kilohertz. This is my 20 kilohertz signal. I am arranging, and this has a 5 volt because I am taking directly from the TTL. If you are not taking TTL, you are taking a normal output, then it will not be 5 volt, you have to adjust with the CRO. Here I am directly taking from the TTL output, that means it should be approximately 5 volt. This has to be connected. Where I am going to connect this one? I am going to connect this input through 1 kilo ohm resistance. That means upper portion of this one. This is pin number 2. This pin number 2 is connected to this terminal, and at 1 kilo ohms, so I have to utilize the lower one. Here the second resistance is going to be 1 kilo ohms. So the input of this meter I am going to connect at 1 kilo ohms. So this will be your circuitry. You can see that input side. Through 1 kilo ohms I have connected to the function generator. Function generator negative terminal, I am connecting to the grounds, and its live terminal I am going to connect to 1K. So this way I have connected 1K. Function generator live terminal. Negative terminal is connected to the common terminal. Another terminal of 1K is connected to the pin number 2. Now the feedback resistance of 10K is required. So from the second terminal, first one is 0.1 microfarad capacitor, second one is 10K resistance. So I am substituting here. That means this is going to be feedback resistance, 10K is connected. The output of this one I have connected to the CRO. You can see that this is going to be your CRO. this will be our CRO. Channel 1, I am adjusting on the CRO because I am utilizing channel 1. This output I have connected to the channel 1 of the CRO, and here pin number 3 is supposed to be grounded. So pin number 3 I am connecting to the ground. So you can see that in a CRO you are getting such kind of waveforms. Can you see the waveforms? The waveform is almost identical with the waveforms you can see in the synopsis. It's a not exactly square wave, but it is delayed like this. From low to high, it takes time to change. So this kind of waveform we are getting here. Now you can take a slope. You can see that the lower end somewhere here I have adjusted, and the upper end I can consider somewhere here. So between these two, the change in the voltage, 1 divisions, 2 divisions, 3 divisions, multiplied with the 2 volt, this one, this line. That means change in the voltage delta V is going to be 3 volt multiplied by 2, that is going to be 6 volt. And how much time is taken? From here to here in a horizontal positions. So I can adjust anywhere. Here to here, change in the voltage is 3 volt, number of divisions will be 1.6 or something, and 1.6 multiply by, sorry, this is not locked, now it is locked. So it should be triggered channel 1, okay, and that means I can say that change in the voltage is 3 volt, and for change in the voltage 3 volt, how much change in the delta x, that is going to be time. So 1.6 or something multiply by whatever this comes. That comes to be this knob. You can see that this black one, which is coincide with the 5 microseconds. So 1.6 into 5, that is going to be 8.0 microseconds. So you can see that the voltage was 3 volt divided by 8.0 microseconds. That means 3 divided by 8, whatever it comes, nearly 3.6 or something volt per microsecond. That is going to be the slew rate. You can see that. And all this data you can substitute here in this observation table. The first one is the input offset voltage, whatever you have obtained. The second one is the average value of input bias current IB. The third thing is input offset currents. And the fourth one is a CMRR, and the last one is the slew rate, volt per, that is 3 volt divide by whatever 8 microseconds or something. That will be your slew rate will be there. That means this op-amp is having a limitation that up to 20 kilohertz frequency, this op-amp can be utilized. More than that, it is the output waveform is become slower to change the output. So it is lagging. And that's why we have to calculate the slew rate also. Detail about this one, I am sending the PPT also of this synopsis. So you can study about this one. Thank you very much, friends. So this is our first practical study of op-amp parameters we have studied. This synopsis, etc. also I am going to send it on a Moodle. And this video lecture is also going to be sending to the Moodle. Thank you very much, friends.